My name is Ken from Catskill Craftsmen. First of all, on behalf of myself and our employees here at Catskill Craftsmen, we would like to thank you for purchasing one of our items. It does mean a lot to us, and we do our very best to manufacture products that you can enjoy for a lifetime. You will notice I will use a power screwdriver, however it is not necessary. A hand screwdriver is sufficient, but a power screwdriver will cut your assembly time. The 1468 model has two front legs, two back legs. The diagonal legs are the same. We reference, when we do our part descriptions, we usually describe them from the front of the unit, so a left front leg or a right front leg. We're going to put together the side panels. Both side panels will be the same until we attach the glides, and that will determine what is the left and the right. So you're going to see on the side panels, or on the legs, excuse me, a series of holes. You start out with the bottom hole, which is where the wheel will go. I'm going to put that down, and you have holes along this edge, holes along this edge. These two holes that are together is going to be where the glide rail attaches. So for now, I'm going to just put it up on the edge. We use what's called a bastion fastening system. It has a silver colored post, and then there's a bronze colored nut, and then a bronze colored set screw which locks it together. It's called a positive fastening system because once it's put together, it's very secure. So to thread these in, there's one end of the silver colored post is threaded. That's what goes into the wood. You'll thread it in until the shoulder touches the wood. Then you'll reverse it out slightly so that the hole is oriented in the proper direction for fastening. So I'm going to put one of these silver colored posts and this hole about 2 1/4 inches down from the top, and then another one directly below it. Near the two holes for the glides that are close together. There's different methods to do this. This has a slot in the top for a flat blade screwdriver. You can use that. What I prefer to use is I have a small Allen wrench which slides through the end, and that's what I find is easiest. So you could use something like this. A small screwdriver will work as well. So what I typically do is you start them with your fingers. You just get them started. You want to try to keep them straight. If they kind of go at an angle as you tighten them, you can always kind of straighten them with a hammer, then tighten them the rest of the way. So we're going to put one of those here, one of those here. You get them started. Give them 2 or 3 turns. Then I insert the Allen wrench and just thread it in the rest of the way until the shoulder touches the wood. So it goes in relatively easy. And then with this one, because this is going to turn this way, the brace will go here. We need the hole to point up so that we can put the set screw into it. So I need to reverse this out just a little bit so that that is up. And on this one, for instance, the slot in the top will be lengthways with the grain of the wood, so I can back it out a little bit. That's not always true. Sometimes we buy these and they come the other way, so I hate to tell people to use the slot in the top because it's not always consistent. So you're always looking for where the hole is in the side of the post. So let me line this one up as well. So I'm going to reverse it about 3/4 of a turn. So that one's going to be ready to go. And I'll lay it down. I'll do the same thing on this side. So that's part of step 1. The next step is we have the top side brace. This is just a piece of wood. I believe it's 13 inches by 7 3/4. This one you're going to notice the holes are basically in each of the 4 corners. I'm going to turn it over. You want the holes that are closest to the edge towards the top, because what's important with this model is that we have 1 1/4 inches here for the drop leaf supports to extend. So all I've done is I've just started it into the holes, and I'm going to take 2 of the bastion nuts works, they have a, they're bronze colored. They actually have a hole through the side and then a threaded end. So that where the hole is through the side, you want to drop that into these access holes so that the post will go through that hole. I'll do the same thing with this hole. So you can just turn them with your fingers so they line up. And then you just press it into place. And now they have, we supply a silver colored Allen wrench that fits these set screws. Sometimes these set screws come with Phillips heads, so you would just use a Phillips screwdriver. What you do is just place one on the end of your wrench, you hold the brace, and then you just kind of slide the nut to the edge of the hole, and then start threading the set screw. Okay, our next step, before I fasten the other side, I'm going to place the glide support rail in position. You'll notice that there's 2 holes in each end. We just have little 3/4 inch metal pins that go into the end. There's 2 in each end. You just press them in. If they go a little bit tight, you can tap them in with a hammer. Now it's very important that you put the holes towards the inside of the cabinet, which is this way. You don't want to put them in the other way. You go to fasten your glide, there's no holes. So the holes come out and the holes go towards the lower edge. This particular one that I'm using has 6 holes. We use this part in several of our tables, so we're only going to use 2 of these holes, and we'll show you which 2 line up here in a few minutes. So these 2 holes that are lined together, or that are together in the leg, that one end goes there, we'll just let this set, bring the other leg in a little closer, hold it up into position, and just start the holes. Alright. Now with that, I'm going to drop the barrel nut into the hole facing the right way. It has little hash marks on the top that you want to line up. Do that here. You can actually hold this glide support into position and squeeze it together, just like that. And then you take your set screws, slide them on your wrench, and then tighten this side down. Now this side panel is complete, ready for a drawer glide. So I'm going to build the other one, the other side. It'll be just like it. When we're done with that, I'll show you how to fasten the glide, because one glide you want to extend this way, one glide will extend this way. That's what determines your left and your right. So I'll just stop and I'll put the other panel together and I'll be right back. Welcome back. I've gone ahead and assembled the second side panel. At this point, they're both identical. What's going to determine your left and your right is the placement of the drawer glide. So this unit has very nice full extension glides, and they're a 3-piece assembly. One piece fastens to the cabinet, and then this piece will fasten to the drawer. It extends, this will be to your right, and we'll put it on this way, will be to your left. So to fasten these, the first thing that you need to do is separate them. If you turn it to the back, you'll see this black lever. You're going to want to push the lever down and then just give it a tug. And that'll slide right out. Sometimes you have to yank on them because of the little plastic will catch. So you want to separate the glides. This part you're going to set aside because this fastens to the drawer at a later step. So what we want to do is we want to fasten this to each of the side panels, and we're going to use 2 holes. I mentioned previously that these have extra holes because we do use this part in another unit or 2. The correct positioning for this is you want to have about 1.25 inches from the end of the glide to the edge of the brakes. And what will happen, like I see right here, this is going to line up with this slot, and this is going to line up with this hole. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip this back down, and you kind of have to pull this forward or back so that the opening will line up and you can see those holes. So right here's my hole, right here's my hole. So I'm going to take a 5/8 number 6 screw, start it with my fingers, and I'll start this hole as well. So just get it started, it's in the right place. Again, you can do this by hand, it's not that difficult, or I just happen to have this screwdriver ready. They just have to be snug. So there's one side panel. I'll repeat over here. Again, you extend the glide, get the lever, then you pull that right out, set this aside. Again, you want to make sure that this one extends outside, this one extends outside. It'll be the same holes. Another thing that I would like to accomplish in this step is to fasten these L brackets, which will hold the top in place. You'll notice inside the legs, on the top of each leg, there's a little pilot hole. This screw is going to fasten right there. This L bracket, excuse me, will fasten to that hole. So go right here. We're going to use the slot because you want the top even with the top of the leg. So I'll do the same thing with the other three. In this step, I'd also like to fasten, at least install the posts that will secure the back brace. So we know the drawer extends this way, so these will be our back legs. So as in the previous step, I have 4 of the silver colored posts. I'll start those. Thread them in until the shoulder touches. And I want to reverse it until the hole going through the post is going crossways to the leg.